It is such a as I was talking with Valerie as we were setting up. Um, it seems to me like it's a coming into yourself kind of movie. It's about discovering who you are, and Natascha, you did such an excellent job in this film.
Oh, that's really kind of you. It was very good material, so I only had to honor Valerie's writing and storytelling, and it was a joy. I mean, I'm keen to kind of stress, and this is no caveat. It's just it is extraordinary when you have a bunch of people paddling in the same direction who are incredibly enthusiastic and positive and optimistic and creative, and can sort of club together in what, Valerie, was it 19 days? Because this is one of the things I sort of feel, um, for any of the sort of rough edges, or shots that we didn't manage to get, or pieces that we only got a master shot on, or whatever. I know it's always the way with filming. There's always stuff you can and can't get, and you have to make hard choices. But I think particularly on this one, Valerie was kind of incredibly tolerant, and just valiant in her attempt to to get a movie out of what we had time to shoot. It was kind of remarkable.
We did just have 20 days, but yes, Natascha is an incredible actor and embodied that character beautifully. And yeah, there are challenges, as there are on every single film, but with this one, there were lots of locations, and even though Malta is a small island, getting around was not as easy. So 20 days made it a bit more challenging. Yeah. And yeah.
Well, just the streets. And I was thinking about the logistics of some of that stuff, the kind of the old cobbles, and sort of even walking uphill. No wonder. Is it one of the blue zone places, Malta? I was just sort of thinking that the sort of age that people live to, and how they manage to get up and down those hills in old age is remarkable. But yeah, no. Anyway, those are the logistics, and it's not really interesting for anyone else. But I sort of keep thinking back to that. To the heat, the relentless hours, the enthusiasm of the crew, your indefatigable spirit, all of those things were just it was such a joy. The process was such a joy. So Valerie, I feel particularly protective of it.
Valerie, does being an actress, inform your directing? I mean, are you more empathetic as a director, do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, whenever I sometimes give workshops to directors at film schools as to how to direct actors, and I make them all act. I give them a scene and say, act, put the camera on. This is what it feels like. And, I feel like I'm not telling you a secret, but and a lot of them just break down and cry. And of course I'm like holding them and keeping them safe. But that's my main objective, is to make everyone feel safe so that they can create best they can, in the environment. And it was, we did have an amazing cast team of people, but I was concerned because Natascha didn't really have a proper trailer. We did find rooms for her, but I know as an actor, if I have to, just like stay and put her in this corner. But it's like, as an actor, if you're about to do an emotional scene or be vulnerable in any way, you have to prep for it. And you can't, it's difficult to do that when you've got crew going by, and people are also really friendly. So they're like, hey, how's it going? Telling you jokes and stuff like that. Of course, you're a pro, but I know I would have a difficult time because I like to say hello to everyone. So things like that made me, as an actor, realize that the sort of space a person needs to perform well, yeah.
And you brought it up, Natascha. I mean, working in Malta and Malta becomes a character in the film. It really is a beautiful, beautiful
yes.
city.
Yeah,
but you're dealing with streets that are thousands of years old, and it is a rough location, when you get really down to it, down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, I mean, to Valerie's point, we were sort of getting changed behind cars and yeah, in the street. But also I that was spearheaded by me too. I wanted to do that because it just meant that then we'd have another take, we'd have time to do another take, and the work wouldn't be compromised. So that's what I mean about everyone pedaling in the same direction. We save so much crap. We just save so much time that normally there's so much faffing that goes on in filming and so much waiting around and deliberating. And there's something very interesting that happens when your options are limited and you have to make very, very quick decisions and choices. And without all the options, without tons of money, without tons of time, it becomes very streamlined and it becomes incredibly focused. And as an actor anyway, that's a lot more gratifying. I mean, Valerie's right. You're sort of prepping for some scene that is maybe meant to be a sort of some kind of emotional breakdown, and the producer's kids are running up to you and saying, "Hi, would you want a biscuit?" or not even that. Like someone else is coming and saying, "What are you doing? What's the movie you're making?" And they're kind of going, "Rolling." But in a way, all of that stuff is, it's great. It's great that there are obstacles. And we love obstacles. We love overcoming them. I mean, that's what the creative spirit is, isn't it? It's finding solutions and reframing things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me.
It sparks. Sorry, Tony, but
Oh.
it sparks your instinct. Like your instincts have to be in the forefront. Like right there.
Yes.
When you have to think quickly, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you're under stress like that, your creativity just blossoms. I mean, it just makes it better sometimes.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I definitely. Yeah.
Natascha, tell me a little bit about the character you play. Tell me a little bit about Carmen and what you discovered about her, and is she like you in any way?
Gosh, I don't know. It's probably not for me to say. I don't know if we're the best judges of ourselves, or doing a sort of inventory of characteristics. But in terms of the connection to the script and my desire to play her was instant, and I found the story really funny. Actually, I remember reading the script and laughing out loud quite a few times, and just finding the absurdity of the situation, and that there was nothing sort of cloying or overly sentimental, I hope, about her. Certainly wasn't in the writing. It was very pragmatic and very just, there was something very can-do about her, which I really appreciated. And she wasn't trying to save humanity or reinvent the wheel. She was just trying to expose truth, I guess. I mean her own, and then that would spread to the people close to her, which I think happens in life anyway. If someone's living in integrity, it's very difficult for the people around to not. and I think until that time, I don't even think she knew what that was, and until she was released from the clutches of the that social construct, her brother being the top of the pyramid, until it's like the pigeon. She was sort of set free. There's so many metaphors, and I suppose there is a kind of, it's almost like a sort of mystery play, isn't it? One of those classical stories, sort of Odyssean journey. But it was also, I just think, very honest and fresh and simple. as well.
Yeah, there's a beauty in that as well, which translates onto the film. And Valerie, did you have a big audition process? Did you have Natascha in mind from the beginning?
I didn't have anybody in mind in the beginning, and initially it wasn't going to be a co-production, and then it became a co-production. So it was just going to be a small Canadian film, and then it became a co-production, and then so there's a team of producers, and then they wanted to get a casting director, and I'm more familiar with the British training theater, that sort of world. I've worked there as an actor as well, just in theater a little bit. So I was leaning towards that, and they agreed. And then Jesse Frost, a casting director, suggested Natascha. And I'd known of your work, Natascha's work. She's in the room, of your work, and loved it. And then my concern was, and I remember talking to you about this, Natascha, it's like, you're just a little too beautiful for this role.
Yeah,
how
right.
do you make someone beautiful invisible in this village? And then we chatted about that, and what is beauty, and what happens to the body, and it was easy peasy. Yeah. Mm.
Well, I agree with you. I think Natascha is a global treasure. I mean, I just love your work.
Global treasure, yes.
And your work on Halo too is incredible. I mean, you do so much, but I guess getting offered a role like Carmen must be a godsend for an actress.
Yeah. And to have Valerie's trust. I mean, this was something that she'd been working on for a very long time. It was very close to her heart, and was based on, a relative's story. And so obviously she wanted to honor that, and to be trusted with telling that story was, yeah. I mean, we had really little time. Like I say, there was only a few weeks prep as well. It was very, it was quick. And as you say, we were sort of shooting from the hip, and there wasn't a ton of time to ruminate, and sometimes maybe that's a very good thing. And yeah, we also, there was Valerie's very what is it they call it now, non-attachment or something. She's a master of not being attached to things, or not being precious about her writing or a scene or a moment. She's very happy to throw it out if we don't have the bandwidth to put it in, or we find something else that in the moment feels more appropriate, or so it was very collaborative. It was just, we were properly in the sandpit, playing with whatever we could find. And
yeah,
I love working like that.
Yeah, it was very, that's a good thing to mention, is how collaborative it was, with the team. And I think that's really important. And no hierarchy, which is a thing that slows films down quite a bit, I find, So that's why I personally, I know unions don't like this, but I'm not in a union. So, pulling gear so that the team realizes that we're all doing this together. I don't want to sit back on that chair and watch the monitor all the time. I want to be right in there. And, if my actor's going to go into the pool, I'm going into the pool. Just make sure the water's warm. And no, I just love going into pools. But that teamwork and the collaboration, and it makes it like it's no longer mine. It's everybody's. I mean, I'm sure you've heard this many times before, but there are 3 films. There's the one that's on the script, there's one that's in production, and then there's the one that's in post. Right? So yes, it's a beautiful thing when you just like, here you go, do with it what you will, and we'll figure it out together.
Ladies, I am just bowled over by chatting with you this morning. I know our time is limited and all. Did I interrupt you, Natascha? I am sorry if I did.
No. I was only going to say, to Valerie's point, on a enormously practical, factual level, most of the crew in Malta do multiple jobs. So the person who was editing at one point had also made his own movie and had also been a sound engineer and was a sound engineer on ours. And then the person who is first AD had been, let's say, second or third, or I don't know, a PA on some other film. It's very interchangeable. And because of that, everyone has sort of done one another's jobs. So there's this amazing reverence and respect for each department. It's not the siloed situation where, you know, the sound department's annoyed with the camera department because of the, I don't know, you know, they're not sharing their plugs or plug sockets, or, you know, something as crazy as that. There's just this just as Valerie said, you know, we'd be pulling trolleys, all of us, up the hill, or carrying costumes, or helping the wig lady with all her bits and paraphernalia. It was just, yeah, like a family going to the beach. Umbrellas
Well,
but it was great.
I have to say goodbye because I think Emma's going to pull her hair out now because we're late.
Okay.
But I really, guys, I adore you both, and it is such a great film. And I want to thank you, Natascha, a great performance, and
Valerie,
keep directing. You're in the right business.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Mom, did you hear that?
You guys take care.
Sorry
Thank
to be
you.
late. Thank you.